just
So maybe
is going.
Hello and welcome to Inside Jacksonville, a production of the University of North Florida's School of Communication and the CW17. I'm Janae Brown. We're here each month with stories about life on the First Coast. Leading off this month, returning to a normal life can be hard for veterans. Inside Jacksonville, Sydney Basloff is here to show you how Canines for Warriors is helping veterans return to a life of dignity and independence with some help.
Canines for Warriors was founded in 2011 and is the nation's largest service dog provider for military veterans suffering from post-traumatic stress, traumatic brain injury, and/or military sexual trauma.
The other thing that I think really sets our program apart and is so special is the 3 weeks of training. Most programs don't have an in-house aspect like we do, where the warriors are actually leaving their home and coming to Ponte Vedra for 3 weeks with these other warriors they've never met before. But I think that's part of why our program is so successful, is because our warriors are with other people who get what they're going through.
Since the nonprofit was founded, over 1,000 dogs have been rescued, and the program has had over 630 graduates of their 3-week training program. The goal of this program is to empower the warriors to return to a life of independence. This training and the service dog comes at no cost to the warrior. After serving in the military, coming home can be hard for veterans.
I always knew that there was other people that had problems like I did. But until you get in a group setting and then you're back in that group setting with guys that have been through the same stuff and shared experiences, even if it's in different countries or branches of service, there's a certain bit of camaraderie that comes with that. And feeling that once again kind of really made me feel more at home.
Greg Wells was once on 14 different medications for his PTSD, but thanks to Canines for Warriors and his service dog Utah, he now has a new leash on life.
Makes me want to be a better person. I was just, a jerk, very short with people, angry. I'm generally an unhappy person. I don't think I would have my family, and then after that would happen, I probably wouldn't be around too long. So he's literally saved me and my family.
This program is not only saving veterans, but also finding a forever home for a dog in need. Roughly 90% of the nonprofit service dogs come from shelters. With each graduate pair, 2 lives are saved: the dog, and then the dog rescues the warrior.
From 3 weeks later at graduation, the change from that dog day to then is just remarkable. The bond that's been created and the different relationship between the warrior and the dog. They're sitting at graduation just like nuzzling them and like holding them, and they just look so happy and excited for what's to come. And so seeing that difference in just 3 short weeks.
Sydney Batzloff, Inside Jacksonville.
Canines for Warriors relies on help from the community. If you want to get involved, check out their website at caninesforwarriors.org. Local businesses, especially restaurants, are among the most negatively impacted by the pandemic. Where many were forced to shut down, one restaurant decided to use its resources to make a difference. Inside Jacksonville's Josh Lester serves up the details.
Bellwether is a restaurant located in the heart of downtown Jacksonville that specializes in an array of food genres, from southern comfort dishes like dill pickle brine fried chicken thighs to international fusions like Korean fried broccoli.
Okay, so we got Tabasco, wasabi, and some beans, and some black-eyed peas, and chicken.
But Carrie Rogers isn't describing their menu here, but rather the charitable work they've undertaken.
So it's been a lot of fun just kind of putting things together.
When the pandemic forced Bellwether to close down its restaurant, the owner, John Ansetta, decided to use that as an opportunity to help those in need.
We're able to help thousands of people.
Bellwether teamed up with the nonprofit Feeding Northeast Florida to aid the poor and elderly in the area.
The fact that we were able to do the Feeding Northeast Florida and keep people employed and coming in and keeping the morale up, and kind of keeping some normalcy, it was nice.
Bellwether's role in the project was piecing together servable meals from the food donated to Feeding Northeast Florida.
They'll deliver once a week the food, and then we turn those into meals. Right now we're doing about 500 meals. Each bag is 2 meals per bag. Then we also do a snack. That's 1,000 meals, almost 1,500 meals that we're putting out each week.
There's just so much attached to restaurants that I think people don't understand the ecosystem of it. It just spreads its tentacles in the community in a great way.
Bellwether has reopened their restaurant, but that hasn't stopped them from making charitable meals.
We'd like to continue going as long as we can.
Stuff like that, like, gives you hope, you know?
Joshua Lester, Inside Jacksonville.
Bellsworth staff will continue to maintain their partnership with Feeding Northeast Florida, creating meals for the elderly and helping areas with ongoing needs. Jacksonville's art community is filled with tremendous talent. Inside Jacksonville's Jonathan Melicon introduces us to local artist Dev Kai.
Designer's Closet, located in Orange Park Mall, features more than just fashion. Within the store, you may also find the work of Jacksonville artist Dev Kai.
Dev Kai, visionary, artist, I guess you would say comedian, sort of.
Dev Kai's artwork is a testimony to liking certain things his peers did not find fascinating. Instead of succumbing to ridicule, he used his criticism to develop his skills as an artist.
You liking certain things that other black kids don't like. You know, you liking anime, you liking different artists, you know, you liking certain video games outside of, you know, NBA Live and Madden and stuff like that. And I was always seen as weird, so I always took that and applied it to my work.
Gino Cruz allows Dev Kai to display his artwork throughout the store to complement his merchandise.
The artwork just matches the store because we have a lot of like the Pharrell brands, you know what I'm saying, that type of style. So when you see the Pharrell artwork, it just matches perfectly.
Dev Kai is no stranger to getting commissioned for art. However, his biggest request came from Curtis Brown.
Well, it started off with, would you do some shoes for me? And he did. After that, I opened up the store and he was standing in here one day and I was like, man, would you do me a favor? This is the Dev Kai piece that gets a lot of buzz. I can't imagine how he did it because he started off drawing it first. Then he went back and started painting, then he started Look, it was a process on itself. It took about a week to do it, but I say I probably got the dopest wall in Jacksonville.
Dev Kai believes that he's been so successful because of the passion he's instilled in his artwork. He also believes that the consumers that purchase his work can see the same.
Because people see the passion in what you do. Like, whatever you do, if you're not enthusiastic about it, 9 times out of 10, it's gonna turn out like crap. Like, it's not gonna look good. So what I do is, whether it be a painting of, you know, an original, or a digital piece of Pharrell, or a digital piece of Lil Uzi Vert, or regardless of what it is, people are gonna see the passion in it because they see the work and they see the detail. And automatically, they're probably gonna be like, I don't care who this is. I wanna buy this because, you know, I haven't seen somebody really commit to doing it this way in a while. So I want to invest in your work, and that's a good thing, man. Like, as long as you, feel like as long as you produce quality work, everybody's gonna mess with what you do.
Jonathan Melanson, Inside Jacksonville.
For more information on Dev Kai's art, visit his website, legendarydevkai.com. Coming up, we'll take a look at how bookers and venues are adapting to a new way of life. Also after the break, we'll show you what one organization is doing to help someone's dreams come true. Welcome back to Inside Jacksonville. As the music industry struggles to find its footing during the pandemic, musicians aren't the only ones struggling. Inside Jacksonville's Roberto Lopez explains how other roles in the music industry are heavily affected by COVID-19.
With the COVID-19 pandemic still in full swing here in the United States, many industries have been forced to adjust. The live music industry here in Jacksonville is no exception. With musicians as the face and the sound of live music, it can be forgotten what else goes into putting on a live show. Live music venue owners are being forced to significantly cut down on their indoor capacity. Musicians are being forced to play for much smaller crowds. Before the pandemic, Brittany Davis, a local photographer and lover of live music, mixed her two passions by bringing her 35mm film point-and-shoot camera with her to concerts here in Jacksonville. She said that much like the artists on stage feed off the energy of the crowd, her photos capture that energy in the room. Up until March, it was not uncommon for Davis to attend several shows a week to listen and snap photos of the bands on stage. Due to the pandemic, her attendance has come to a temporary end.
It's so weird to say this, but I feel like I lost a sense of myself. I felt like I lost a sense of my own identity because I feel like just going to shows was my hobby and it's the only thing that I knew how to do and liked how to do. So I've just been getting like old film developed from shows so that way like people can see and think back on those times. Or even if you didn't go to that show, you can just like see what it looked like and kind of get like a sense of that.
Photographers like Brittany Davis play an important part within the live music industry. They capture moments in time, and their photos act as memories. Yet, there is another role within the live music industry that is often forgotten. Without show bookers, there'd be no one on stage to take photos of. Show bookers, like Mike Ciro, are responsible for assembling and at times even managing live shows and festivals.
Just nobody knows what's going on with this pandemic. You know, everybody could say, well, it's this or it's that. None of us know. So, you know, I'd prefer to stay cautious and just calm down and not do anything right now and let it breathe. And I think that, you know, the more we work together, the quicker we'll be able to get back to normal. And just, you know, there's a lot of people taking chances right now, and no offense to them, just not the route I'm trying to take.
Roberto Lopez, Inside Jacksonville.
So much goes into putting and documenting live music shows. It's a good reminder to hear about the show bookers and photographers that allow those shows to live on in our memories. Because of social distancing and the closing of many local venues, several musicians have not had the opportunity to perform live in months. However, with the rise of popular streaming platforms such as Twitch and Instagram, many musicians are reaching out to fans through the internet. Inside Jacksonville's Richard Sharp shows us how it all works.
I started making music on stream after COVID started, and we weren't really able to do shows or anything. It was kind of a way for me to get a little bit of exposure the same way the shows were doing, but you know, to reach an audience. However, I can't do that in person, so you know, I had to figure out ways around it.
Logan Butler, a local beatmaker and producer, has found himself in a similar situation with other musicians who have made the transition into performing live on streaming platforms like Twitch and Instagram in order to combat the lack of live performances that they are used to.
Streaming was probably the quickest way that I could immediately think about it, and it kind of took off from there a little bit. Like the people that were coming to the shows that I'd see frequently, my regulars, would show up to the stream.
Logan, along with many other musicians during this time, have witnessed a rise in viewerships on online streaming platforms. Overall, streaming websites such as Twitch have become more popular than ever during this pandemic. Since the start of the coronavirus, overall viewership has increased by 10%, making this a great opportunity for new streamers to start a channel and begin forming their community.
Beatmaking culture is really heavy on samples and pulling from different types of sources and sounds, and so I go to the record store by me, and I probably buy I'd say I buy 15 to 20 records. Like after I get paid on Tuesday, I just go and I work a week's worth of samples or records, and I'll go flip through them for a whole week, maybe longer depending on how many I buy and how many good quality records there are.
Logan streams on Twitch at least 3 times a week, showing his followers the songs he's been working on, as well as sharing his own tips and tricks to those who ask. This is Ricky Sharp, and you're watching Inside Jacksonville.
Check out twitch.tv for yourself and see some live music. Dreams Come True is a wish-granting organization dedicated to using the power of a dream to bring hope and joy to children battling life-threatening illnesses. Inside Jacksonville's Caitlin Piper shows us how the inspiration turns to action.
Dreams Come True is the First Coast's very own fairy godmother for children battling life-threatening illnesses. I had the opportunity to talk with the Director of Communications, Andrea Siracusa.
What we do is we help grant their dream. So their dream can be anything from a bedroom makeover to shopping, maybe going to New York to a Broadway show. We tell them to dream big. That's our motto. And what we do is our team works to make that all possible with the help of our community partners.
Although Dreams Come True is only helping one kid today, since 1984, they've helped over 4,000.
Today we have a 5-year-old named Kyla whose dream was to get her own racer stroller. and she is part of the Ainsley's Angels Riders. And so today we surprised her with her custom-made stroller just for her. And then along with her friends at Ainsley's Angels, we took a 5K course run and celebrated her dream.
Kyla was born with brain damage from congenital CMV, which is a kind of herpes virus which usually produces very mild symptoms in an infected person, but may cause severe neurological damage in people with weakened immune systems.
With the new chair, she was just like smiling the entire time, and I thought that would be a perfect dream for her because she can use it for, till she grows up.
Kyla made a wish and it was granted by Dreams Come True. I'm Caitlin Piper, Inside Jacksonville.
The Dreams Come True organization is continuing to change the lives and fulfill the dreams of children right here on the First Coast. Still to come on this month's edition of Inside Jacksonville, one pizza place is still cooking despite the obstacle ahead. Also after the break, we will show you how animals can help you gain a friend during quarantine. Welcome back to Inside Jacksonville. Joseph's Pizza is a hidden gem in Jacksonville. The River City's oldest Italian restaurant is still booming after being in business for 62 years. Inside Jacksonville's Kristen Bernyard introduces us to the owner and shows us how this successful recipe continues to serve up success.
Nestled in the historic Springfield community, Joseph's Pizza, which has been open since 1956, is a staple for Jacksonville locals.
The idea of Joseph's came from my father, who was at one time in the grocery store business and really didn't feel accomplished in his way. He wanted to always be with people, be creative, and he saw a little Italian restaurant that had pizza, bread, I think maybe one pasta dish. I think, wasn't it like a sandwich and a pasta dish, and created Joseph's from that.
Dad bought the restaurant. It was a pizzeria and bread shop with maybe one sandwich and a pasta, and then he created the Italian dressings, all the different dressings that we make from scratch, the sauces, and all of these. The majority of the menu is Dad's creation since he bought it in 1969.
While you might think that business owners are big fans of all of their items, some still have favorites.
So my two favorite, I have two, I can't pick one, is our Joseph's Special Pizza, extra crispy, light anchovies, and our cauliflower parmesan, just because it's so unique, and when you consider it being fried, it's not greasy at all, and I just love the texture of the cauliflower. So those are my two favorite dishes.
When I asked the owners of Joseph's Pizza what kept their business running strong for so long, they all had the same answer.
Thank you to the community for always supporting us for over 65 years.
Yeah.
Kristen Brainerd, Inside Jacksonville.
Next time you're in the mood for pizza, head over to Joseph's and try their signature Joseph's Special Pizza, made from scratch every day. Throughout the pandemic, mental stresses have been on the rise. For some, pet adoption is helping provide relief. Inside Jacksonville's Katie Buckley shows us how these furry friends are touching the lives of so many.
So this is Bao. He's my little baby. I adopted him as a kitten when COVID first started. Well, actually not exactly when COVID first started. In June, after a few months of quarantine, I noticed that even with the cat I currently had, she and I would just get sad together because she was kind of lonely. And I just realized that a younger cat was gonna help with hopefully, making me get out of bed and be a little more productive. He's a handful, but he's very cute and very energetic, and he brings a lot more life into my apartment, which makes it definitely easier when I'm stuck here most of the time.
According to a CDC study done in June, U.S. adults reported considerably elevated mental health conditions like anxiety and depression associated with COVID-19, and animals are a known way to help these issues.
We love animals as a culture, we love animals as a nation, and I think that pet therapy, now more than ever, because of everything that we're dealing with as a nation, as a culture, are even better received. They literally have been known to lower blood pressure, to improve depression, the feelings of depression.
Across the nation, there's been a rise in mental health issues, as well as a rise in animal adoption rates, as people are looking for furry friends for companionship throughout the pandemic.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that people were at home, quarantining, working from home. They definitely had a lot more time on their hands, and now was a good time as any to bring a new family member home. So we did see an influx in adoption rates, I would say.
And if adopting was too much of a commitment for someone, local shelters also offered the opportunity to foster animals as well.
So at the start of the pandemic, we actually did do a foster plea. So we did reach out for all kinds of fosters, so for adult animals as well as our kittens and our puppies that also needed a lot of attention. But we did do a foster plea, and Jacksonville showed up. I mean, most of our animals went out that same week, and of course we just got more in as they left. But we definitely got new animals in and new animals out, and the foster rate was incredible during COVID, to the point where we had to tell people, okay, we don't need fosters anymore, because people were just showing up and so ready to foster.
This is Katie Buckley with Inside Jacksonville.
The Jacksonville Humane Society often hosts free adoption events for those still looking for that one pet to make their life better. Well, that's a wrap for this edition of Inside Jacksonville. If you missed anything from today's program, just visit our website, unftv.com, and look under the Digital Journalism tab, where you'll find extended versions of our stories, photos, interviews, and other extras. Again, that's unftv.com. You can also find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Inside Jacks UNF. From all of us here at Inside Jacksonville, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next month right here on the CW17.